Day 11. You have done it. At 11 days no smoking. We're closing in on the 2-week mark. That's 264 hours. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like a non-smoker at this point. Like I said at the end of the last podcast, episode for day 10, I still like the smell of it, but I'm intentionally staying away from it. Now, I'll tell you, the last time I quit long term, it was for 15 months. No smoking. Not a puff, not anything. And even at the 15-month mark, they still smelled great. I will tell you that when I did start back up, that very first cigarette that I decided to hit did not taste great. I had to force myself back into smoking cigarettes, and if any of you guys relapse, I want you to very much pay attention to that. You're not even liking it. You're forcing yourself back into smoking. And not only that, but you're forcing your taste buds to change again to make the flavor of the tobacco seem somewhat appealing after it's burnt your tongue up to a certain degree or whatever it does, coats it. It's hard to say, but at some point we know that there's a transition it makes from that nasty initial cigarette flavor to whatever takes place after the fact. And let's be for real, it's not really flavor country. It's not the most delicious thing in the world. It's just something that our mind and body for some reason craves. And I'm sorry if talking about that makes you think about smoking more, but part of this whole process isn't to be out of sight, out of mind entirely. It is more so to be mindful. And as the days go longer and you're further away from the physical part of the addiction, it's important to talk about the mental part of the addiction. And it is very important to start coming up and building a case with why you should not smoke again and make this be the final time that you quit. And for me, I need to use all justification that I possibly can find. And that initial trying another cigarette, I can tell you that that's something to take note of. It just tastes like garbage. It doesn't taste good. It doesn't smell good when it's on your clothes or your hands. For some reason, it smells okay when it's in the air, to some people. But I've never met a person that just loves the after smell of cigarettes. Cigars are worse. I, for one, have never been able to handle the smell of cigars. I cannot stand it. And if you've ever been inside a vehicle with somebody that uses chewing tobacco and they're spitting it in a cup in a closed area where you can smell that smell is disgusting. It is raunchy. And I've tried chewing tobacco as well. I know the flavor is way different than what everybody else is smelling when you're spitting into a cup or whatever. But that also is quite a crazy addiction to try and kick. And I hope you guys are coming up with some good reasons. Sorry for the yawns. I hope you guys are coming up with some good reasons for yourself why you would not like to smoke anymore. So I've decided that since this is a Quit Rich sponsored production, since Quit Rich is something that I've developed, and I'm kind of like the Walt Disney of Quit Rich, the brainchild of it, the creator of it, I thought it would be kind of interesting that if this becomes something historical, that this little podcast of me quitting smoking would be like you getting to quit smoking with somebody that did something substantial in life. So, podcasting existed way back when Disney was creating Mickey Mouse and his early versions of cartoons, and he happened to quit smoking because he was a smoker as well. He happened to quit smoking and create a podcast. It would be fun to be able to go back and when you want to quit smoking, you can quit with Walt Disney. Now, I do realize the first 10 days, very uninteresting, and I can't really promise that the next 20 are going to be all that interesting. But I'm going to try my best to add a little bit of flavor in it, something insightful. So what I'm going to talk about is what's currently going on with Quit Rich. Now, in the future, there'll be a point in time where this is way old news, that this thing has come and gone and was a really new thing, and then it became super old thing, and the oldest of things for Quit Rich. Currently working on the season 1 content. For those that don't know, the season started at 0. Season 0 was more so the sculpting, foundation laying, the testing, trying to figure out which way to go and what parts I like and what parts I don't like about the conceptualizing of Quit Rich. Season 1 is more definite content. Season 0 was basically spent trying to create season 1 and the year after, so whatever is to follow that. All that being said, season 1 content is currently what I'm trying to finish and launch into the world. The goal was to launch it beginning of 2019. I am doing a lot of freelance hiring and commissioning people to work for me, and not everybody's on the same schedule, and I can't necessarily pay people enough to be on my schedule and do things exactly on my terms. Not quite at the level where I can afford that. When I can, that'll be one of the first things that I do, because I definitely like having timetables that I can manage. That way I can control when my stuff's released and control the flow of my business. Right now I'm at the mercy of other people and my ability to finance those other people. So I'm getting close to launching, even though I'm not hitting my exact date. I'm working around it. There are some things that I had to make adjustments for, and so the outcome of the season 1 content may not be 100% of what I envisioned, but the core basics are there, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. Season 1 content is going to be talking about 2 things. First thing is addiction, and that makes sense that we're doing a podcast right now and speaking to you about quitting an addiction and holding your hand and being your friend as you quit. I'm quitting too. But I want to go deeper than just smoking addiction. I want to go into pretty much all kinds of addictions, and I want to focus on industries that like to prey on people's addictions and capitalize on people's addictions. The second part of season 1 content, I'll let you know at the end of day 12. This has been the end of day 11. Congratulations to you. We'll talk more in day 12.